Season 3, here we are back again, and here we are for Donnington. So, first of all, I'm going to thank everyone for tuning in today for this lovely Saturday evening, and yeah, we're back racing once again. In case you missed us last time, here is the track layout for Donnington. It looks a bit like a chicken nugget, but all you need to know is that we are on the national layout for today. So expect to see lap times of under 1 minute, and hopefully within the 55s. Let's look into a few of the storylines going into this race. Jorge Cara leads the Drivers' Championship by 2 points ahead of Evan Party. Blue Ridge lead the Constructors' Championship by 26 points ahead of Vegasport. And, in case I haven't made it obvious enough, this is round 2. So, tell me how everyone's doing. I'd love to know. I'd love to get your thoughts. We should be joined by Mr. Drauzino in the commentary box today. But it doesn't seem like he's here. So, yeah, I suppose we'll just have to wait until he decides to make his appearance. And of course, if there's anything wrong with the audio, all that sort of stuff, just let me know and we'll get it sorted. But yeah, so let's have a look in the chat. A lot of people screaming for Murad Goodman. Now, I'm telling you what we're going to be screaming for. It's qualifying to begin now. And let's get that sorted. Bam. Okay, so here we go. Here we go for qualifying. And no Lagdini, no Jarzino joining us in the commentary the box as of yet. We've got Mr. Bolt and myself and apparently he is here. I just can't hear him. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just on my side. I think I'm having sound issues. Hello? Luck, is he here? I hear him lip smacking.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear him now.
Okay.
Allow it. We nearly had a completely issue-free start to the stream, but I couldn't even hear the other guy in the commentary box. So yeah, but he's here now. Tell us what you're thinking ahead of this one.
Yeah, I've turned up a bit late, so I'm not up to date. I've got to read my notes first. Yeah, I mean, we have Jack Wagonbort, but I believe from Melbourne, he's got a 5-second something grid penalty, from what I believe. So
I don't know what notes you're reading, mate, but
yeah, I keep it behind on the times, but I got to read my notes first.
Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, no. And who is this in the blacked out car? I'm trying to love to know. Let me hope it's not any of the track marshals. Okay, no, it's not any of us. So I think I've just happened to not have someone's livery. I think I'd reset the session and didn't skip session. Oh. No, I'm pretty sure I went on to next session. There should be practice, no? There should be qualifying.
It says practice in the top left.
Oh, God. Right, okay, hold on. There we
I'll
go.
entertain the people. So we actually do have a very nice long grid of people here at Donnington Park in the north of England.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like we've fixed the issue now, and as you can see, all the cars billowing out of the field. I still don't know who that is in the all-black car.
Whereabouts?
Is it one of the Sky clans? I can't tell.
Where are we looking?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing skins. I'm just gonna have to rifle through until we find out. Let's see. Jorge. Oh, it's the two Vegasports. I don't know why I've not got any skins for the Vegasports. That's not good. But I will try to get that sorted ahead of the next race. Yeah. Apologies, Vegasport. But yeah, so let's have a look and see exactly what's going on. So I'll just set the scene for you, chat. This is the second round, in case you didn't get that already. And Jack Wagenvort currently looks to be the fastest man on track. He set very fast times in practice, and he is, as we all know, a very good driver when it comes to qualifying pace. But when we saw what happened in the race last week, It turns out it was the Blue Ridge cars that actually came out in full force and took the big sweep of points. Jap was slapped back with a number of penalties, and this meant that he is now sitting about 8 points off of the championship lead. So it is actually Jorge Caro who now leads the Drivers' Championship, and he is ahead of his teammate, Evan Pardy, with 2 points of a gap between the two of them. So, although this is very early on in the season, it's also not the most massive calendar in the world, and I would love to know if team orders might get into the way here. Now, we all know Evan Pardy prefers the team's success over his own, but when you are only 2 points off of the Drivers' Championship, what would you do, Luckers?
Well, if I'm Evan Pardy, I want to keep my head down because obviously he had a very good Melbourne second race, winning that one. And yeah, as you said, he's a big team player. He's got a few friends out there. And oh, speaking of, someone just goes flying off. That was one of the Sky Clans. But yeah, you know, if you're Evan Pardy, you want to keep your head down, focus on getting a good result, and stay out of trouble. Absolutely.
Now, let's go and have a few more words with some of the other drivers. I want to have a bit of a chat with everyone. Dan Fine, insanely, ridiculously dirty start in race 1 of last week, but then had a lot of good pace in race 2. And now with a lot of interesting conversation around the Fox Esports driver actually having a very good set of laps as he almost nearly takes someone out, but I think he was off the track just about, so he should be fine. It did look like he had quite a number of strong laps in practice, so the real question is he going to be a force to be reckoned with heading into this race? He's currently sat in P5 at the moment in qualifying. Joao, what do you think?
Well, I've known Dan for most of my life now. You know, he's a pivotal part of my career. And if I can say one thing about Dan Thine is that he won't give up. As we saw in Melbourne, his defence against reigning world champion Jack Wagenbort. That man does not give up, and that man never backs down. So he's a fighter. It's going to be an interesting race for Dan Thine.
Absolutely. Heading on to the KVs, Ryan Hawke. He had a very good showing in Melbourne last week. Obviously got very unlucky with a lot of the incidents that were happening on and off the track. But currently sat in P2 at the moment. And this time he has his teammate Petar Prentić, who finished 3rd in the Drivers' Championship last season. He had having missed Melbourne, is now here for the race in Donnington. So any thoughts on these two, Luckers? Any?
Yeah, I mean, they I can say it all day, but they're very quick drivers. Got a lot of pace, obviously. Yeah, not much more I can say about them.
Absolutely, no, of course. Now, this team tends to be one that capitalizes on the downfall of others, and let's try and see if they're gonna try to do a bit of that today, or if they're gonna. Oh, I think I've just cursed one of them because off goes Petar in a spin, and he joins one of the Blue Ridges, and he's just teleported back to pits. That might get looked into if any of the other teams are keeping an eye on this broadcast. Let's go on to the conversation for the OFBs. We've got Jacob Formey currently in P8, and his teammate Ozrum Kunas suffering a quali ban as a result of the incidents in last week's race. Now, as Aujas claimed he has gone to go take a shit, for lack of a better word, because that is exactly what he quoted. What do you think's going to happen, Luckers? You were obviously there with me when you saw that incident, and obviously it was a very big talking point as to whether he would even be allowed to race today. But thankfully, it looks like the stewards have decided to spare him just this once, and he comes out of it with a quali ban, a strike, and another opportunity to fight. Do you think he has what it takes to claw back the deficit that he currently has in the championship?
Well, in regards to Jacob Formey, I believe he does. He's got a good position right now and he's showing good pace. But in regards to his teammate, or Grimkanas, I think he's going to have a few problems with other people more than the track. Because obviously, I'm going to put my commentator hat on here. What he did last week was unacceptable. And the stewards have been very generous in letting him even show up to Donnington Park today. So, yeah, I mean, Jacob Formey's got a lot on his plate. So does all Grimkanas. So we'll see what happens in both races.
Now, I'm obviously of the camp that I didn't mean to do those incidents on purpose, but at the same time, like you said, it was an unacceptable move that took Jap out of the race win and has arguably cost him the championship lead. So let's hope to see these two keep it a bit cleaner. And speaking of clean, let's go on board with Frederick Nichols, who's currently doing a bit of land work at the moment. Now, Fred unfortunately suffered the ban, the quali ban, which was, you know, it didn't allow him to race, and at the moment it's looking like they might suffer the same fate. Well, not Fred, but it looks like he should be through. My bad. On qualifying. He says he's got his issues sorted out now. Do you think the Sky Clans are going to be a bit cleaner today, Luckers?
Yes. I mean, the Sky Clans, there was a lackluster Melbourne for the Sky Clans, but they're comfortable mid-pack. They can definitely push for a race win and even a podium result. So I have a lot of faith in the Sky Clans, and they're led by a very strong man. So I do believe in the Sky Clans as he goes off.
Absolutely. And currently the only person who hasn't met the 107 is Simon Pavlik. So really good from the rest of the drivers to keep within the 107. It shows that there is a genuine, you know, there's a lot more practice that's been put into this race, and the gap really isn't that massive. If we have a look ourselves, the biggest gap is only 3.5 seconds, and I'd say that's pretty decent for a field spread in this league. So yeah, let's see who else we can talk about. Let's have a look at, oh, of course, how could we not? Let's talk about Murat Goodman. So Murat currently, as he puts himself into P8, so I think a lot of people in the paddock have been saying they are very, very surprised by Murat's sudden change in philosophy, having really gelled with the CHP team and just getting his head down and working, you know? There was a lot of criticism going into the season of, oh, should Murat even be in a full-time C? Is he ready? Should he not start off as a reserve? All of this nonsense. He tuned it out, got down, put his head down, Luckers, and got put in the work. And he got a bit unfortunate with the flip in Australia, which cost him the P5. But at the moment, he's not let that define him. He's currently sat in P8 at the moment, only a second off of the fastest lap time. And
absolutely,
I think it's genuine testimony that, you know, don't listen to the hate. Just sit tight and do your thing. And now he's gone from someone the paddock was fearing quite a bit in terms of dirty driving to now fearing in the sense of, oh, he's a threat. He could challenge me for my position. And yeah, so talk to me about what you think of that, Luckers.
Yeah, Murat, there's a lot I could say about Murat, but if you're familiar with the professional wrestling and you know a guy called Matt Cardona, we have a real Matt Cardona story here with Murat Goodman. He's gone away, he's reinvented himself, and he's come back as a much better person. Murat, obviously, we could say he was sort of like a Ryan Riddell character. He was not liked in the paddock, and he was a threat. But here, we have a man that's come back, and he's a lot better with his driving.
Yeah, of course. So obviously we saw Petar teleporting to pits. We just received words from his team boss that he's not planning to go back out, and that should therefore keep him from any sort of penalties.
Yes, smart move by Petar Prentić.
Yes, of course. So yeah, so she should be completely fine, and that means that Petar's qualifying is over, but he currently sits P4 at the moment, ahead of Ryan Hawke. So, I can't lie, Luckers. If I wasn't really excited for Melbourne, I'm definitely excited now. We've only a couple minutes to go in this qualifying session. It's looking close. I'm excited to see what happens.
Definitely. Another note on Petar Prentić there. He's been sat in the pit lane for about 7 minutes now, and he still holds the fastest Sector 2 time. So, maybe he doesn't even need to go back out. He's sat happily in P4 with a teammate right behind him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think Petar really needs to go and set another lap at the moment. I mean, I'm sure he's kicking himself in the sense of, you know, it'd be nice to see if he can get any more time. But he's really in a good position for someone who missed a lot of preseason and round one entirely. And yeah, so championship leader Jorge Caro currently in P2 at the moment against the reigning champion currently in pole position. All I'm really hoping for is these lot just keep it clean. I think that in itself is a bit of a big ask, but we'll see what happens. Dan Thine currently in P6, so it's really cool to see a lot of Lucker's Academy prodigies currently, you know, ripping it up in AFO at the moment, and just goes testimony to the Lucker's Academy of drivers. And I'm excited to see what other talents make their way up the field next.
It'll be a while until we see another man like Murat Goodman and Dan Thine, but yeah,
exactly. Don't debate them, just enjoy them. Is what my old man said. So yeah, and it looks like a personal best by Evan Pardy, which puts him in P4. So Petar Prentic drops down to P5, and the other Blue Ridge car currently in P4 at the moment. So it's getting closer and closer and closer out at the front. Jack Wagenvort, Jorge Caro, and Simon Wagenvort currently in the top 3. It's getting tight.
Yep. And speaking of Blue Ridge cars, Jorge Caro in P2. He was on a good lap there until he was impeded by what looked to be Frederick Nicholson in the Sky Cloud. But still, Jack Wagenvort in first, Jorge Caro in second, with Simon Wagenvort in third.
Absolutely, it's looking close. It's very, very, very close at the top. I mean, P2 and P3 is literally only separated by a couple of hundredths of a second. So don't count out any of these lot. If Simon finds some more pace, he could get pole. If Jorge gets some more pace, he could get pole. It's really up to debate. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Definitely.
100%. I'll tell you what, I'm not yawning because this is boring, because it's not. I'm just yawning because I've not slept at all today, mate. You know, when you have to pull an all-nighter.
Yep.
Currently going through the repercussions of that right now. Maybe not the best decision in my life. However, one thing I will be happy for is Jay Kirkham, currently in the Tiger Sport, who has decided to help me out and hop in the purple Tiger car, because my 2 main drivers are still unable for some reason. So obviously, you know, Dynamite from WTCS,
yep.
Great driver there. What do you think he can do here today?
He's got to prove himself because, as you said, from WTCS, 2 totally different cars, different formulas, different classes. And in a grid like this, where it's so competitive, so close, you have to really be on your A game every single week. Speaking of A game, Jorge Caro on a personal best. Can't make much of it, but he's very close now.
Very, very close. Jorge is 100%. Dangerously close to Jap's pole position here at the moment, and he got pole in the last race. Can he get pole here today? He's got 3 more minutes to see if he can do something about it. One person I was really interested to see if he can do anything was Auge. Obviously, he is on a quali ban though, so don't think much is happening there. And Jacob Formy is disconnected from the server again, so I think he's maybe having some issues on his side. Let's hope they don't plague him into the race. I wonder if there's anyone currently on a good lap at the moment. Oh, and looks like Dan spun round. He quickly pushes himself back off the track, so he keeps himself out of danger's way. It's good to see everyone being quite clean in qualifying at the moment. Let's just hope they keep it that way in the race. Meanwhile, Daniel Tallerino, the first Sky Clan to break through into the top 10, and Frederick Nichols actually right behind him in P11, so they're not far off the points actually, Luckers. It's just a case of seeing if they can keep it clean. That is going to be the big ask here. Ooh. At the moment, it is looking like Simon Pavlik will probably be disqualified from the race. I feel like disqualified is a harsh word. I'm just going to say it's very unsafe to let him race if he can't meet the lap time. But yeah, I mean, he's getting faster, so I think it's just a matter of seeing when eventually he can close that gap. But yeah, oh, and this looks like it's been a bit of a massive accident. What's happened there? It looks like one of the Vega Sports has just taken out Dan. And I'm interested to know who that was. I think that was Elliot Vega, who has been struggling quite a bit. He's currently sat in P14, quite far off the pace. He's not too far off the pace in the sense of, like, you know, he's very close by, but like as far as like fastest lap goes, he is towards the bottom of the field. Not sure how he's gonna feel about that contact with Dan, but let's hope it was just lighthearted.
When he goes off,
oof.
Dan down the inside claims that position back.
Absolutely. 1 more minute to go. Evan Pardy sets another personal best. He's still sat in 4th though, and I'm interested to see if anyone's gonna pip. If anyone's gonna pip this lot.
I must say I'm very surprised by the Blue Ridge.
Yeah, genuinely. I think you're right. I mean, you can tell me what you thought about the Blue Ridge initially going into the season.
I didn't have any money on them being in the top 4, let alone the top 10. So, you know, I've experienced their server firsthand, and it's like a war zone. So, to keep your head this cool for both drivers in the top 4 is very impressive.
Absolutely. I think I genuinely didn't give Blue Ridge much credit in terms of my personal predictions. It was quite obvious from the get-go that I was expecting the Sony GPs and the KVs to be fighting at the front, but Blue Ridge has just come and sort of swept the rug under our feet, and as Evan goes for his final lap. So here we have the final sort of runs of laps here. And we're just going to keep an eye on the finish line. But let's go on board with Evan Party at the moment, seeming as he's the only one I know who's on the lap at the moment. Through we go. I mean, let's get some onboard cameras. Can I do that? Can I do that?
Right,
let's see. Ah, there we go. So on board with Evan, up the uphill section here. With the fastest sector 3 from Frederick Nichols. So keep an eye on the Sky Clan as we keep going through this lap here with Evan Party. He's got some traffic up ahead. I'm hoping that's not Darkstar, and I think that is. That is Darkstar. Darkstar is completely halting this lap from someone who's in contention for the championship, and Evan Party's been spun round, and that is not going to go well for Evan. If anything, he's going to be very relieved that Simon is. I mean, he's gotten very close to the 107, very, very close. He's on 102 at the moment, but it's not enough. It's absolutely not enough, and that's completely jeopardized the lap. And you got to feel for him. Again, something that looked like it was going to come his way, completely blown out of his control. Meanwhile, Frederick Nichols, who set off a personal, I think it was a session best actually. So let's see what he does as he comes round the final few corners. Oh, and he aborts the lap. So I don't think anything's happened there.
Yeah, he had a big off at turn 1, which we just missed on the broadcast.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was a huge off at turn 1.
I think I got so shocked by the the anarchy that happened with Evan that I completely missed that, which means that Jack Wagenvort claims another pole position to add to his record book, and yeah, I think that was a pretty insane qualifying. Definitely a very insane qualifying, and wow, genuinely, that was definitely something. Right, I'm gonna see if I can get these V Sport liveries loaded up in the meantime. So if you can entertain the audience, lookers, that'd be fantastic.
So we'll have a little grid rundown while I have the chance before I have to eat my polos. We have Jack Wagenvort up in first, no surprise there, with Jorge Caro 7/10 behind, very close from the Blue Ridge driver Simon Wagenvort, the descendant of Jack Wagenvort, up in third. Very good result for him. Evan Party down in fourth. Pat Apprentice in fifth, who still holds that fastest sector 2, despite being sat in the pits for more than half a session. Ryan Hawke down in sixth, and his fellow teammate of Pet Apprentice. Dan Thine with a surprising result in the Fox Esports up in seventh, with Joshi Mandelbaum down in eighth. Murat Goodman, the Turk, who I believe is in the CHP, up in ninth, with Jacob Formey. Good result for him down in 10th. Daniel Talarino, get that right I get that wrong every single meeting. Daniel Talarino down in 11th, with teammate Frederick Nichols just behind after a dismal qualifying for Mr. Nichols. Cash Ayalo in the SRT down in 13th, with Elliot Vega in 14th. Jake Hercombe down in 15th in the Tiger Sport, and Simon Pavlik at the back of the grid, who probably doesn't meet the 107 mark. I don't know yet.
Yeah, he does not meet the 107 mark, so I will have to boot him from the session. I do apologize to Simon, but the rules are rules. So let's just get that out the way. Simon, goodbye. I don't really. Yeah, what? It's almost a bit of a bittersweet feeling, I can't lie. But yeah, so not much I can do there, I'm afraid. My apologies, Simon. But you know, maybe start a GoFundMe for this guy to get himself a new wheel or something.
Yeah,
it's the least we could do. But yeah. So Jack Wagenvort on pole position. Ignore the leaderboard at the moment while it tries to fix itself. But yeah, so mental, genuinely. Jorge got kicked. No, he didn't. Or he's here. Why is the chat scaring me? I shouldn't be reading that shit. The last thing I need. Yeah, so a minute to go, Lockers. What are we thinking?
I mean, I said this in Melbourne, but I think we're going to see a massive kerfuffle into turn one, as we do at Donnington. You don't want to see that. Obviously, nobody wants to see that, but the crowd do. So, yeah, turn one, everybody's going to have to keep their wits about themselves, check their mirrors. Obviously, I know there's a few very people that don't do that, but it's a dangerous. Sorry, it's a dangerous track to not be checking your mirrors. So, mirrors are going to be an essential part of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see how the pecking order is. We've got 16 drivers here today, Luckers, and I'm going to warn everyone in the chat, not in the chat, sorry, in the stewards group, we need to move our cars off the grid the minute the race starts. Please make sure we do that. I'm speaking to myself, speaking to Luckers, and to Bolts. Make sure we get ourselves off the track, please. And yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, here we go. We got the red lights up on screen. Who is going to lead down into turn one? It's lights out and away we go for round 2 here at AFO. And I'm going to quickly just move my car off the grids and check over here. Down we go into turn 1. And it looks to be Jack Wagenvort leading. Oh, it's a huge accident back at the front. What has happened there? It looks like one of the KVs got absolutely pounded. And it looks to be a massive collision. It looks like they've got going though. So no safety car at the moment. Down we go into the left, right, and the massive bit of elevation. And it looks to be a relatively clean start. Ausrum Kunas has managed to use that chaos to his advantage and get up into 8th place. It looks like a CHP car has gone off there at the... Yeah, and it looks like Murat Goodman, unfortunate there. Simon Wagenvort currently in 2nd place, and Jorge Caro currently eyeing up a move. Let's watch down into the final 2 corners here. It's father and son, 1-2, and then the championship leader in 3rd, Petar Prentic, still in 4th. So that means, unfortunately, it was Ryan Hawk yet again with another spell of absolute unluckiness as we go into lap 1. Goodness me, that was a bit of a chaotic start, wasn't it?
That was a hell of a lap 1, and it was actually Joshy Mandelbaum who had that big incident at turn 1 that took out about 4 people. But he seems to be getting himself back up the order now. It's actually a very good position now for Dan Thine.
Yeah, and Dan Thine currently up into P5. Obviously, we'll have a quick word with him. He said he had very good pace this race, so interesting to see how he manages the first couple of laps of this stint. He's got the OFBs currently on his tail, and Ausrum Kunas seems to have made his way past Jacob Formey. Not sure if there's been any team orders there. I think those two get along quite well, so I'm sure they are behaving. But Jack Wagenvort currently pulling out at the moment. He knows that this is the opportunity he needs to get his hands around the championship once more. But don't count out Jorge Caro. And it looks like Ausrum Kunas is currently trying to see if he can make a move on Dan Thine, and it looks like Auj gets the move done. Dan respects the move, doesn't make too much hard work, and it looks to be there's a bit of contact between, on my screen it's saying Frederick Nichols has had a bit of a run-in with a couple of people. He looks like he's still going though, so not entirely sure.
He has.
Has he? What's... Big
crash at turn 1, there's a few people off, I'm not sure who.
Oh, it looks like once again, it looks like Ryan Hawk again having more issues. And I just got a feel for the guy. It just doesn't seem like it's going his way at all so far this season. He's got Cash Aiello of the SRT on his bum right now, and he's gonna have to make sure that he keeps it clean. He's still. I mean, if you check the minimap chat, it looks like he's still in contention for a couple of positions here. So don't count him out just yet. It looks like Jack Wagenvort is absolutely running away with this at the moment. 14 minutes to go, and I think a valid concern he had was blue flag. So let's see if that plays any effect going into the latter phases of this race. But goodness me, Luckers, what do you think of that start? That
was you know, chaos but cinema at the same time. It was a very good getaway for the top six. And you know, that it's not what you want to see, but big incident at turn 1 takes out half the field. A lot of people go through, and it's actually helped Jacob Formey who is now up in 6th place with a couple of other good results for the SRTs now, up in the top 7.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems to be like it's going. It seems to be like it's going his way, and honestly, Frederick Nichols, said he's got some accidents happening at the moment, but he seems to be going at the moment. So props to him. Let's hope he can keep it clean. Speaking of keep it clean, Ours Rimkunas at the moment 4th place, and I got to remind you, quali ban at the start, and he's currently in 4th. You know. Very questionable driving in Melbourne, but at the moment he's kept it clean and he's currently up into 4th, keeping his eyes on the podium now, only 8 tenths off from the KV of Petar Prentić.
Yeah, I mean, it was smart from Dan Thine to let Grimkenas through a lap ago, but it lets all 3, who Dan Thine is now in an SRT sandwich, which really is not where you want to be, given the SRT driver lineup, but Grimkenas now has free air to chase Peter Prentić in 3rd.
Absolutely, and it looks like there was a a Sky Clan coming off there, giving way. And I'm really hoping people are clipping any incidents that happen, because just me and you alone, bit difficult to keep our eyes. I know Bolt is also watching. I'm trying to make sure if there's any incidents happening, and I'm sure he'll keep me right if he sees anything. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty hectic what's going on at the moment. But battles up and down the field. Currently, Jay Kirkham seeing if he can make a move on Frederick Nichols. Frederick, who seems to be struggling quite a bit with the overall grip of the car. And as you can see, he can't make any mistakes because there is a huge train behind him at the moment. And I think I spoke too soon because Frederick punches the exit. Oh my goodness me! What the heck's just happened there? It looks like he's just completely lost control of the car. And he's just tunneled himself back onto the field. And it looks like he just didn't apply the brakes. And somehow the KV of Ryan Hawk seems to have gotten away with it. And that guy, he's genuinely going to torture and everything combined. Genuinely. I don't think I don't know what he's done in his past life to deserve this many incidents. But, yeah. And anyway, let's watch this battle between Murat Goodman and... Oh! Is that a clean move? I don't know, Luckers. Did you see that?
I didn't see much of it. I only caught the end bit, but it may have been the commentator's curse, really.
I genuinely, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if he was trying to make a move or if it was Kirkham defending his position, but that's kind of shafted Murat now, and he's down in the bottom positions. Meanwhile, the next closest battle is Joshi Mandelbaum on the Tiger Sport. So Jay Kirkham making his car as wide as he possibly can. As you can see, Ryan Hawk losing quite a lot of grip there, just trying to exit the final corner, and through goes Joshi Mandenbaum, but he looks like he's overshot it a wee bit, and Jay Kirkham slides back through again. So it seems to be that Jay Kirkham has mastered the art of the silent fist, and that is to fight without fighting. By maintaining his line and just taking his laps as if he's in a practice session, everyone around him seems to be making mistakes. And I speak again, Ryan Hawk, once again losing traction, and I think that's a result of the damage that he picked up right at the start of the race. Wow. Yeah, it's all kicking off, and meanwhile, let's go right back up to the front. I'm going to have to let you jump in a bit, Luckers, because I'm starting to lose my voice again. But it looks like Petar seems to be holding back Auge at the moment. And the problem with Auge is he can't make any dangerous moves because he knows that if he does anything that costs him a bit of time, Dan Thine is right on his ass, and he will see if he can make it move out of the capitalization. Now, obviously, a wee bit that... Oh, and I think I spoke again. I think I might just stop speaking. I feel like I'm cursing everyone who comes through. But like I said, Dine looks to see if he can make a move. He thinks the better of it, keeps his nose clean, and Auge lives to fight another day. But yeah, Auge and Petar, both teammates last season. They were both fighting for the Drivers' Championship, and now both in two different outfits. Petar went to KV, Auge started his own outfit, and yeah, and it's good to see those two fighting again. But yeah, tell me what you think of it, Lucas.
Well, Grimkenas, as you said, can't make any dangerous moves, but he has been trying, and I don't want to down-talk this man too much, but Grimkenas has been lunging, he's been taking extremely dangerous wide lines. He is trying to get that third position off Petar Prentić, but he now has a hungry, eager Dan Thine on his backside, who is looking to make a move at any given moment. Dan Thine is... through.
Yes, absolutely, and it looks like someone's gone off there. Is that lead car? I think it's a lapped car, so it should be fine. It looks to be. I think it's No, it looks to be Murat. No, it's Daniel Tallarino, who's currently a lap down. So yeah, no need to worry about him. But yeah, on board with Dan, and as you can see, this seems to be awfully close. I'll tell you what, I didn't expect such a short track to be putting up such good racing. It's like we said in the driver's briefing, Luckers. This is a track that you're not really going to have much places to overtake. So it is just going to be all about trying to make sure you don't make any mistakes. You know?
Definitely.
So yeah, it's looking good. Simon Wagenvort, meanwhile, starting to fall off of Jap. And he's obviously got the battle of Petar and Auj behind him, so he's going to have to just keep it clean, see what he can do. But Jap currently 5 seconds ahead of the field, and we're starting to come into contact with those back markers. So obviously he had to clear Jay Kirkham. I've missed what happened to him, but as a result of whatever incident that befell him, he's now down into P15. And yeah, I think it's just blue flags. People need to obey blue flags and get out of the way. I think that is going to be the main worry for Jap at the moment. It's almost like he's going to have to overtake all of these cars again if they don't behave. So Bolt, if you are watching, keep an eye on just the lead cars coming through. I'd appreciate that. That's probably the most likely we're going to have incidents occur. But other than that, yeah, it seems to be going well. It seems to be going really well. Let's watch Jorge Caro at the moment, who surprisingly is actually behind. A bit further behind than I originally thought. I think maybe just a lack of the... I mean, I could every chance I could have missed something. Chat can keep me right. But for the most part, really not on the money at the moment. And I think in a couple minutes time, I'm going to reveal what order we are the reverse poll will be on. So keep an eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. Put your guesses in the chat as to what you think. Do you think it's going to be 10 again? Do you think it's going to be like 12? Do you think it's going to be 8? It could be anything. So let me know what you guys think in the chat, as it looks to be a plane taking off in the distance. I don't really know why. But yeah, let's go back on board with maybe the closest battle again on the field. It's Auj Kunas. Oh, it looks like that's Jay Kirkham again, and let's hope he keeps it clean. I pray he keeps it clean. He looks to be keeping it clean, and looks to be like what's happened there? It looks like P14 seems to be stranded on the side of the track. Rumkunas looks to be making a move. Let's go on board with the it looks to be a bit of dirty air that seems to be kicking his back end out. He's got to keep it clean. Petar Prentić knows he's gonna have to behave here. They keep it very, very. What's happened?
I don't.
What on earth happened? What happened?
I really don't know.
I'm so confused. I'm gonna check the logs. Give me 1 second. I'm so confused.
Well, Rimkunas, if anyone missed that, Rimkunas was just teleported back to the pits for no apparent reason, and he's not raised any complaints in the game chat. So we'll find out what happened on there.
I'm so confused. That usually only happens if you've failed to serve a penalty, but then you only get booted from the race as soon as you cross the start-finish straight. You know, that was not the start-finish straight. So I'm very confused as to what's happened there. If Auj can clarify what's happened, or if he's pressed some button or something by accident, I'd love to know, because I would not see any reason why he'd do that on purpose. And if that was just complete accident, I do feel for the guy, because I have no clue at all what's happened. Meanwhile, Dan Thine now trying to defend from Jacob for me. A bit of contact between the two, and they both go into each other, and that sends Dan round in a spin. Don't think he's lost any apparent positions, and a slightly unsafe rejoin, which nearly kills Evan. But they keep it together, and now a bit of defensive action from Dan to see if he can block Jorge. But I think Jorge's got enough overspeed to get round the outside. They're going to have to make sure they don't make contact. Dan pushes Jorge off the track. I'm not sure if that was a completely legal move, but he keeps the position for now. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure if Jacob maybe made the... I mean, it could be a racing incident for all I know, but I mean, if I had to give my honest opinion, I think that was never going to work. That corner can only take about one car. So yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. We'll have to watch that one back, because that looked to be a bit of an incident between Dan Thine and not sure who that was.
Absolutely, and I think I've just got. I could maybe have some clarity from the people in the chat. Apparently, Alge might have pressed his pit button by accident, and that's just sent him straight back to the pits. I honestly wouldn't know why you'd have a map button like that mapped to your wheel, but that genuinely is like heart goes out because that is just awful. We were about to see a really good battle there between Petar and Alge, and we've just kind of been robbed of it. So. Yeah, what can you say? I feel for him. I hope he comes back in race 2. If anything, we saw that he can make positions up with a chaotic rear gear, and it looks like the CHP giving way. I really don't think giving way on the track on the grass is the best way. And we're watching Jap now having to navigate past the back markers here, and I think Elliot needs to move out the way as well. But the issue is all these lot are having a massive fight at the moment. They don't want to give up the position, and as a result. It's looking a bit dangerous for Yap. I think he's going to make it through anyhow, and he should be fine for the time being. Anyway, let's get the...
fortunate for Jap, actually.
Yes,
there was a big off just in front of him just there, but he keeps going.
Oh, and another big off, and Ryan again. It just looks like he just hasn't got the grip. I think he's just got damage, and a load of it. And wow, I'm just... You know, you got it. Your heart goes out for Ryan because he's now just been lapped by his teammate, and I'm not sure that is really what he wanted to happen. And I think all of these lapped cars has now brought Simon a lot closer to Petar, and now these two are gonna have a bit of a fight. Now, obviously, this is the Vegas sport. It's an issue on my end that you can't see any of their liveries. I apologize for that, but we're gonna see an overtake now from Petar to try and see if he can gain the second place. He thinks the better of it though, and he backs out the move. And I think this is what Formy or D-Thief or Dan should have done when they had that move. That's now cost both of them a bit of time. So yeah, Petar lives to fight another day. But as you can see, the battle is... Oh! And it looks like, I think the grip is starting to drop, Luckers. I think that's what's going to happen, because I'm starting to see a lot of people having very twitchy movements as we head into the final few minutes of this race. Yeah, a lot of twitchy movements, a lot of I wouldn't say pandemonium. I think we've had worse racing standards, but at the moment, no, it seems to be everyone's behaving themselves. But it does look like the grip is starting to fall, and I think people really need to start slowing down on their lap times. But yeah, I mean, as we enter the final minute, Luckers, what do you think? What do you think?
There's a lot of rubber on the track, a lot of marbles. You know, you have to be careful of that round here because you do get a lot of it. It's a very hot track. It's a very demanding track, I would say. So yeah, you have to keep your head down. You have to concentrate, and that's not what Petar Prentice just done. It's like you said with Jay Kirkham earlier, where he just the slow game. Petar Prentice didn't do that, and now he's compromised himself.
Absolutely. I think Petar should be very proud of his P3 though, considering everything that happened up and down the field. He had a lot of, and I think he should be I think you should count himself lucky that he hasn't had to deal with Alge. You know, I think that could have ended quite badly in the sense of, like, you know, he probably would have lost that position with the pace Alge was showing. So, and it's clear, and Alge has basically just shown that quality bans aren't going to affect him. And I think I'd be interested to have seen how he would have done. If he had set a couple of laps, but I mean, we'll get to see that in the latter half of the season. But yeah, speaking of done, Jack Wagenvort wins his second race of the season, an absolute masterclass, if I do say so myself, from pole to finish. Didn't have to worry about any of the blue flags, didn't have to worry about any of the accidents at the start, and yeah, Simon Wagenvort comes home in P2, Petar Prentice podium on return, and I think, oh, what the heck is going on here? Jacob Formy in P4. Evan Pardy P5. Murat Goodman could be on record here for a P7. No, I think the leaderboard's bugged out a wee bit. Murat's currently running P8 on my screen. Dan Thine P6. I think Jorge is going to come home in P8. In P7, I think. Sorry. Yep. Yeah, so not too bad. Not too shabby at all. We'll read through a couple of the chat messages as soon as we've wrapped up here for race 1. But yeah, so Jorge comes home to finish in P7. And then Murat comes home to finish in P8. Elliot Vega, a good recovery drive to finish P9. Joshi finishes P10. Frederick Nichols P11, Ryan Hawk P12, Jay Kirkham P13, Cash Aiello P14, and Daniel Tallerino in P15. Azrum Kunaz unfortunately retires from the race due to hitting his pit button by accident, and he makes the only retirement of race 1. Interesting. What do you make of it, Luckers? I think I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm quite happy with that. That was quite a good race.
Yeah, that was entertaining to say the least. There was close battles nearly all race, I'd say, and you could look down the grid from start to finish and there'd be something going on. So, as far as races go, you're not going to get much better than that around this track.
Absolutely. We're going to read through a couple of the messages. Obviously, the Murat Goodman fandom in full swing out here today. It's almost like they bring a tifo and they just start screaming in the chat. So we love that atmosphere. Keep it going, lads. We love the atmosphere. PSG Skittles saying, congrats, Jap. #1 for a reason. And I'd agree. There's a reason he's got the #1 on his car. A lot of love for Dan Thine. A lot of love for Simon Wagenvor. It's positive vibes in the chat, and it's looking good. Good vibes all around. So yeah, we're gonna go for a quick break, and then we will come back for race 2 here in the wonderful Donnington. Let me. Do I have a starting soon screen somewhere? Yes, I do. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Sorry, we had a technical issue. The server crashed, so we had to get everything set up and ready, but we should be good to go very, very soon. In fact, we're bringing the action to you in about 30 seconds. So, yeah. Key things to note. The top 5 has been reversed, so now Evan is on pole position. That is the modifier for this week. And it now means that, yeah, I mean, for some reason, people didn't know that, even though I said it in the driver's briefing, but that doesn't matter. We can now see the V Sports cars, and without further ado, we are now going to start the race. So buckle up, set yourselves in. We've got the lights on the screen. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a good start for Evan Party, and it seems to be that he has got himself a very clean getaway. Going into turn 1, it looks like one of the, oh my god, again, another accident, and looks like Jacob Formey has completely been tank slapped around, and that's caused the OFB driver to have a complete nightmare, and it looks like Auj Rimkunas, it was not the one, so it was Jacob Formey. I don't know why I've assumed it was Auj, but Evan Party gets an absolute lightning start out ahead, and that causes him to, get the lead, and it looks like a couple of cars going off on the back, and oh my goodness me, a bit of chaos at the back. It looks like one of the Sky Clans again, and I think that was Fred, and Danielle going off again, and now that means both the Sky Clans are now dead last, but Evan leads this race. Petar Prentić right on his tail in P2, Simon Wagenvort P3, and looks like he makes a mistake. The CHP spinning round, causing a bit of chaos, a lot of chaos going on at the moment. Who is that CHP, you ask? I think it might be Murat Goodman. Murat Goodman has to keep it cleaner than that. I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like Dan Thine and Jack Wagenvort having a bit of a kerfuffle at the moment, and it seems to be. Let's go on board with Simon so we can watch it. These lot have to keep it clean. Simon looking to see if he can make a move on Jap, and Dan keeping these three.
Caro.
And Caro now joining into the battle as well. This is looking very dangerous. Jap and Caro, as we all both know, probably going to be fighting for the championship. They need to keep it clean. A bit of contact from both of them. Dan still policing the action out in front, and Jorge gets ahead of Simon and now unleashes himself to try and get ahead of Jap. So up into P5, looks like he's recovered quite nicely there, and the initial accidents seem to be nullified.
Yeah.
So a good start from Evan Party. Alzrim Kunas with the fastest lap. There's a massive accident at the back. What has gone on there? It seems to be that I was about to call the safety car, but it looks like they've all got back on track. So no need for the safety car just yet, Bolt. But yeah, that did not look that looked pretty unhealthy. I think that's the best way to say it. A bit of an unhealthy accident. But yeah, sorry, I've been completely caught out of my element here. But yeah, seems like the chaos has died down a wee bit, and the real battle out in front is Petar Prentić and Evan Party.
Oh my god, or Grimkanas has done it again.
He's done it again.
He's gone back to pits and he's just given up now. He's just left, which is fair enough. But
I don't. Why is he got that button binded? For what reason? I don't understand.
Oh, Simon Wagenvort, bit squirrely, but holds it.
Holds it. He keeps it going. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you know, for race 2 starts, it wasn't the worst we've seen, but man, there was some incidents and some crazy ones we saw. Petar Prentić at the moment setting the fastest laps of the race, and Luckers, I hope you keep me updated if you see anything happening at the back. But we're gonna watch this battle.
There's a lot happening with Jorge Caro right now.
Jorge Caro, let's have a look.
Battle.
Jorge Caro, oh my goodness, and looks like Dan Thine and Jack Wagenvort side by side. Let's look at Jorge, can try and see if he can make a move stick as well. These three keeping it very clean, which I genuinely respect. Jack Wagenvort goes down to make the move on the check for Dan Thine. He's going to have to back off, and now it looks like Jorge wants a piece of the action as well. But in through comes Jacob Formey. He makes a move on one, maybe two of the cars side by side with the Fox Esports driver down into the heavy braking zone. 2 corners to go. One of them's going to have to back out here, and it's going to be Dan as he tucks in behind the OFB. So on he goes, and looks like Jacob Formey's had an absolute spin. I don't know if he got tagged there, but that causes him to spin around again, and now we've got Simon Wagenvort trying to catch a draft on side by side, almost three wide going into that corner. A lot of argy bargy And down we go into the downhill section again. Dan Thine trying to defend his 4th place with his absolute life. A personal best for Jay Kirkham. It looks like he's currently in P13, seeing if he can catch up to the points runners at the moment. But these 3 are the ones you want to watch the battle. Let's get the interval up so I can keep an eye on the action in general. And watch out for Elliot Vega as well, trying to see if he can make a move on the late Jacob for me. But yeah, my goodness me, Dan Thine showing levels at the moment. We saw him defend Masterclass in Australia. While he did have to let Jap go this time around, he's managed to keep behind the championship leader of Jorge. And oh, his attack slapper, and Simon spun him round. Simon spun round Jorge, and Jorge is now going to have to make sure he has a safer rejoin. That's going to send him all the way to the back of the field. And Petar Prentić, meanwhile, has taken the lead. It's all going wrong for Blue Ridge Racing at the moment. The team who were on top are having an absolute nightmare.
And there it goes!
And down goes Evan Pony! You can't write this! Goodness me, he nearly takes out Jap. Slams the brakes. Really, really thankful he did that. That keeps him still in the fight. No damage picked up. And Evan down into P3. That allows Jack Wagenbort to get up ahead. And oh my goodness me, it's all going wrong. Evan had the lead of the race, but I think I'm not entirely sure what happened. We missed the battle out in front. And Petar, now with a monstrous gap out in front. And he missed Melbourne, but at the moment he's on course to win this race. But Jack Wagenbort on him behind. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. We have got an absolute show cooking up for us in the next couple of minutes, Lockers. What do you make of that? What do you make of that first 6 minutes, mate?
Absolutely incredible first 6 minutes of this race. I mean, you can't write it really. Jack Wagenbort has had the start of dreams, but no, that was highly unlucky. That battle with Dan Thine and them, like 5 other drivers, was absolutely incredible. They all kept it clean, and it was, you absolutely love to see that sort of stuff here at Donnington Park.
Meanwhile, through goes Dan Thine. I feel like I've just missed something there. It looks like Evan Party is just losing pace, and up goes Dan into the podium positions. Absolutely unreal. The man who started on pole, on reverse grid pole, is losing positions by the second. Evan down into 4th. The next car down the road is Jacob for me. And he's got 5 seconds. It looks like Evan might... I don't think he wants to let this one slide. If he loses the podium, this is going to be bad for his title hopes. He's still obviously leading his teammate, who's down in 11th place. So at the moment, Jorge's getting no points from this race. So yeah. Genuinely unreal. Unreal scenes. Jack Wagenbort, meanwhile, setting fastest laps. What do you make of it, Lockers?
It seems to be a massive loss of concentration for Evan Pardy. He's dropped down 4 places in 2 laps. Really not what you want to see from the Blue Ridge man, but on course with Jack Wagenbort, he is catching Petar Prentić second by second. Absolutely.
I think he did say when we were getting the server set up, he did not want to start on pole. But unfortunately the number I chose was 5, so he had to. And while he did make the advantage of it at the start, it seems the pressure from Petar Prentić has just completely made him crumble. He's just started to drop down the field, and now currently in 3rd, trying to see if he can catch Dan for the podium places. But Dan seems to be a bit of a race 2 man, if you don't mind me saying, Lockers. It does seem like he really comes alive in race 2. And now with real stakes on the board, a massive heap of points for Fox Esports and himself. Let's see how this battle develops as we go into the next couple of laps. Meanwhile, let's go on board with Frederick Nichols. A bit of a interesting conundrum going on here. Jay Kirkham's managed to get himself back into the points, and now side by side with the SkyClad driver. A move by Jay Kirkham, and he looks to oh my goodness me! Off goes Jay Kirkham. I just think he tried to hang a move around the outside that just wasn't gonna work. And I think that's Simon Wagenbort spinning off again. And now through goes Cash Aiello. And Simon and Jay Kirkham. And Jorge Caro is disconnected from the server. I think that he has called it on this race. And it's just been insanely unlucky. He got taken out by Simon. And that's probably not going to reflect very well on Simon. And it looks to be like he's really struggling. It seems to me that if you get involved in a bit of an accident, Lockers, the whole balance of the car just completely goes off. It's just like you're unable to keep it on the track at all. And we saw this with Ryan in race 1. We're seeing it now.
Petar Prentić!
Petar Prentić, what happened? What happened?
He lost grip.
He lost grip, and as a result, Jack Wagenvort shoots back through to take the lead of the race. And Petar, who seemed like he had it under wraps, if he just kept his nose clean, he's now lost the lead to Jap. And now, I mean, I wouldn't count him out just yet. He's still within the second range. It's not like we have DRS or anything, but that slipstream is quite helpful. Dan Thine, meanwhile, in P3. Evan Pardee, P4. Jacob Formey, P5. Ryan Hawk, P6. Frederick Nichols on a bit of a resurgence up into P7. Cash Aiello in P8, who could be on board to score SRT's first ever points of the season, but he's getting increasing amount of pressure from Jay Kirkham. And here comes Simon Wagenvort down the inside of the Tiger Sport car. Down we go into the final few corners here. One of them's gonna have to back out. It's gonna be Jay Kirkham, who clearly realizes that he's running in the points. He needs to bring something back home today, and he doesn't want to have to risk it when he's got Elliot Vega behind him as well. Wow, losing my voice there a wee bit. Goodness me. It seems to be that the gaps are starting to build up a wee bit though, Luckers. But yeah, tell me what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can really say about the top 5, but the below that has been incredible racing. I mean, Frederick Nichols, I don't know how he's back up into 7th place, but he now has Ryan Hawk to deal with and Cash Ayo behind him. But, you know, Simon Wagenvort's having a very bad race. Down in 9th place, he seems to be struggling or arguing with that car, I'd say, for lack of better words.
Pretty much, yes. It seems to me that Simon, while Dan Thine seems to be a bit of a race 2 man, Simon's a bit of a race 1 man. And in race 2, it just seems he loses it. It could be possibly he forgot to load his set or something, but I just couldn't see that happening because he had plenty of time. So I think maybe just an accident or that contact with Jorge has cost him. You know, the position, cost him the pace, and it seems to be going rather slowly for the son of the reigning world champion, who's currently up in first. Meanwhile, Jay Kirkham currently eyeing up Cash Aiello. Let's see if he does anything. Let's go on board the Tiger Sport actually. So a bit of a creative line from Jay, and he's not completely on the rear end of Cash, but he is within the second, and it looks like Cash has made a mistake. He's going to see if he can use his advantage. He's going to get a much better run now, Jay, and he's going to also get the slipstream as well. Off goes Cash, through goes Jay Kirkham for the position up into P8 on debut on a track that he said he was not feeling too confident on, and it seems to be he's just unlocked something in this second race, and he's on for a really good points finish at the moment. So yeah, I think genuinely it's all about making sure you capitalize off of the mistakes of others, and he's done that just now. He needs to keep it clean though. You're almost losing the back end there. 5 minutes to go. The tire wear is going to start really hitting at the moment, and you want to make sure you keep it clean. I've said that about 20 times, but you know, I've been traumatized by so many incidents. I think it's not wrong for me to say that. But yeah, who's been your standout this evening, Luckers?
This evening, I have to say, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to have to say it. Dan Thine has been absolutely on it for me. As I say that, I think Evan Pardee is taking him down the inside. On the home straight.
Evan Pardee seems to have just taken the podium position off of him, back up into third. But yeah, still, I would agree. Dan's showed signs of promise. He was quite messy in the first race, but in the second race, he's really come into. I mean, I'm going to say messy. Quite messy in round 1 last week, but he's really come together this week, and put together the pace. He really seems to have a good knack for this car now.
Absolutely.
I'm interested to see what more he does this season. Yeah, someone who's definitely maybe caught me a bit off surprise in the sense of I was expecting them to maybe show a bit more promise was Murat Goodman. A string of clumsy errors this week. I wouldn't say uncharacteristic, but maybe the old Murat shining back through. I think it's important he keeps his head down and makes sure that this is a one-off, because Murat needs to keep himself calm. He's not off the points. He still could come and snatch a point here, but penalties will definitely be taken into consideration. And you know, we don't want to speak too soon.
Definitely, Murat has to keep his head down. He's got to concentrate, which could be hard for the Turk. He's got to concentrate on a lot of things right now, down in 11th place. But yeah, all eyes on him.
Absolutely, all eyes on him indeed. But yeah, it's, about 3 minutes left to go in this race. It looks like Ryan Hawk. No, I saw something on my telemetry for some reason that said he was a second behind Dan, which I don't think is true. But I do know one thing: Dan going off there, he needs to keep it clean, buddy. Just because he's got 10 seconds of the car behind doesn't mean he wants to lose time. But yeah, it has been. Yeah, concentration is key.
And it's something Dan Fine can lack.
Oftentimes, yes. But yeah, I mean, Luckers, why don't you tell us what you think? I mean, you've now sat with us for 2 races this season. What are you beginning to see any patterns? Are you beginning to see any signs that might concern in terms of championship, in terms of driving standards? Is there anything you're seeing? Is there any predictions you have for people who might suddenly hit the slump, people who might suddenly hit a rise? Anything in your, because obviously you've got a illustrious punditry career. Is there anything that you can see that maybe the casual viewer cannot?
Yeah, there's a few things I've noticed in the first couple of races. I can see Petr Prentić is showing shines of like a comparison to a real life Fernando Alonso. He reminds me heavily of him. Evan Pardy, as we speak, is just taking up second place. But either way, yes. No, Dan Fine, especially. He had a dismal first race, and now he seems to have picked himself back up and got back up them results, as well as Ryan Hawk, actually, who's shown good signs of promise. And another man who's very much surprised me, Jacob Formey, as well, up in 6th.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jacob Formey definitely caught me off surprise. He was a driver who sort of got picked up last minute because OFB needed a driver. I didn't expect him to be this competitive, and obviously I think without the incidents early on in the early half of the race, he would be probably quite high up the grid fighting for the podium places again. The podium places of which are currently under contention by Dan and Petar. So keep an eye on these two. Keep an eye on Jacob Formey as he tries to make a move on Ryan Hawk. Keep an eye on Joshi Mandelbaum as he tries to get into the points. It's all sort of kicking off. We've got about 1 lap left to go. It's looking pretty evident that Jack Wagenvoort is going to take another slam dunk win going into this, and a much needed points boost after losing the momentum heading from Melbourne. Ours Rim Kunas, who had a lot of pace and was clearly showing a lot of promise, unfortunately, issues technical wise has completely shot his probably, I wouldn't say shot his title hopes down, but they've made them all the more unrealistic now. But one thing is for certain, and that is never count out Jack Wagenvoort. This is probably your safest pick if you're building a bet builder, because he will always make sure that if the opportunity is there, he will win. And he's done that today. Jack Wagenvoort wins back-to-back here at Donnington, and that will bring him back into the championship fight, 100%. It's going to look like a photo finish here for Evan Pardy. He finishes second, just keeps himself ahead of Petr Prentić, and Dan Fine finishes P4. An interesting display from the Czech to round off that performance. Jacob Formey comes home to finish in P5. Another really strong result. I'm sure he's going to be happy with. Frederick Nichols absolutely bums it into the wall. I'm surprised he's still going, but he will be able to finish P7. Jay Kirkham, meanwhile, on debut and being called up very, very last minute in a Nico Hulkenberg sort of fashion, finishes P8. Cash Aiello scores the first points for SRT. And Joshi Mandelbaum is going to come back. Is going to come down and possibly score a cheeky good points for the Dark Star team. Unless Murat's beat him to it. I didn't see in time because everyone's just bloody left for some reason. But yeah. Wow, good race. I think maybe a lot less action in race 2, but you know, it's definitely a lot more stakes. And are these lot doing donuts? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it looks like Jacob Formey's doing a bit of donuts. Frederick is doing donuts. Dan is just buried in the wall, and Evan is just sort of sat to sort of debate what on earth went wrong. A race that he could have won sort of slipped from his grasp. We'll speak to these lot just now. We're going to get them on the interviews. We're going to be very, very quick with the interviews because obviously we ran a bit overboard in the broadcast. But yeah, Luckers, tell me what you think, man. That was an interesting round. An interesting
Yeah.
display.
I mean, as far as race weekends go, Donnington's always been a good one. We haven't had it here before, I don't think.
No,
But
of course not. This is the first time, and I must say I'm pleasantly surprised. It has been a good display.
yeah, I mean, elsewhere that we've seen before, ourselves, it's always put on a very good show.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's proven here.
I think WTCS most importantly, it's been a very good place for Donington, and I think I was a bit skeptical going into it for this, but it's proved us well. And we're going to join you in the driver's briefing now. So
Yep.
everyone in the server, if you'd like to join up for that, we're going to get some interviews going. We're going to put myself up on the stage, and we're going to drag Fred down. I've just done the opposite. Let me move myself
What
up there.
happened there?
I have no clue, but yeah, cool. So we'll do interviews. Audience is quite short, so whoever here who wants to go first, stick your hands up. Tell you what, Fred's put his hand up first, so we'll invite Fred up onto the stage.
Let's go.
It's cool. So, Fred's, talk us through it. It looks like you got points at the end. Obviously, it's all provisional. We don't know what the final verdicts are, so you could get even more points, or you might get less, depending on what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as of right now, first points for the team. Talk us through it. Obviously, race 1 didn't look like it went the best for you, but race 2, it looks like you actually you had an incident right at the start, but you managed to claw it back and get into the points. So talk us through your race.
Of basically first race, I said during the halftime between both races, I basically said that my started lights did not come on. So that was one of the main reasons why the first race didn't go very well. And I think it's also these points are also because of Danny's development of the car during race 1, because he crashed out first race. Well, not actually crashed, but like his computer died, and he joined back and just continued to develop the car. And then the halfway break between both races, he sent me the setup, and it worked really, really well. Obviously, the incident was, I think, an out for blood car. It was a red car of some sort, and they just went straight across the grass and hit me on the side. But then I managed to catch back up with some of the people in front to just overtake them, and people were spinning in front, and I was able to overtake them. And I was so close of getting the KV car at the end, but I crashed final corner.
Yeah, I mean, it did look. I mean, I'm sure you had a lot more fun this time, actually fighting for something that matters. And I'm assuming you'll want to keep this momentum going. Small steps, slowly and surely. So yeah, what are your goals heading into the next couple of rounds?
I think mainly is to just develop the car for track specific use, because I think in Hockenheim we basically made the Hockenheim ring setup, and then the first round at Australia, that was the only setup we actually had developed, and it didn't work very well at Australia. But then I took the Australia setup and I developed it for Donnington, and then I sent it to Daniele, who then later developed more things on it, and then we tried the fully developed for Donnington setup in race 1. We did not the best, but I managed to gain one more place that I started. And then the second race, after Danny developed it during race 1, I had no spinning issues. It was just constant grip.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for the most part, Red, I'm happy to see you in the points, mate. I don't want to speak too soon.
I got one more thing to say. There needs to be another L in my name.
I will get that sorted. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Fred.
Bye.
Good luck. All the best for the next rounds. We will now. I'm gonna go in terms of order of like people who finished in the race. Obviously, Petar had that at the top. Jap, if you want to get yourself into the videos, I'll stick your hand up. I'll get you in next. And yeah. So, Petar, we'll grab you in just now if you would like to.
Hello.
Hello, Petar. How are you?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Good race, to be honest. The good 2 races. Kind of feeling down how the ending of the race 2 went. Just the tires were bad, very bad at that point. Couldn't hold on to the lead, nor P2. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think obviously, I think quite a common talking point. We were always saying that, on your return, we were unsure if you were going to be particularly rusty to an extent, or if you were going to hit the ground running. And I think race 2, we clearly saw you take the opportunity as soon as it came to you, and yeah, it must have been good to lead the race for a bit. But we obviously didn't see how you lost that lead. So talk us through that race 2 for most part.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race start, I'd say. Really good race start. And then it was just me and Evan for the most part at the beginning of the race. And yeah, just followed him through most of the laps and just did my move into turn 1, which was pretty clean, I'd say. And I've had P1 for the most part, but then the tire that came in and that fast right-hander at the start, and basically I was just losing my tires and losing the rear of the car always on that turn. And and plus seeing Yap behind me putting on the pressure puts you even in a bigger disadvantage. And that's just how it went. Basically lost the lead, then did the same thing again, and Evan took that chance and took P2. But 2 consecutive P3s, I'd say, is a really good race result in general. Kept my nose clean, and I'm pretty proud of my race today. I can say that.
Fantastic. Do you think the title is still on?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just the second race of the season, but we can all see that Jaap still isn't rusty. He's still up to the level of the champion that he is. And it's always fun to see him behind me or in front of me. Just sad we didn't battle it out nicely on the track, but still it was pretty good fun. Yeah, and I'm expecting quite a lot from him also.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Petar. Have a good day, and we will see you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll bring Jaap up next, and then Luckers, I'll let you call the shots from then on. Cool. All right. Jaap, how are you doing, mate? I think he's on mute. We'll wait until he figures out.
Excuse me. Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Are you doing well?
Yeah, doing fine, thanks.
Good. Obviously, so fresh off of those 2 wins, talk us through it. How did you feel? I know there was a couple of concerns going into this one. Obviously, you were a couple points behind Jorge for championship, but you've definitely clawed it back now, I would take the guess. Talk us through that race. Talk us through the racecraft and some of the challenges you came across today.
Yeah, well, Australia was a bit difficult, and it needed to be flawless today, and that's what happened. So I'm just happy. The car was tricky, I think, for everyone because it was really oversteery. So I took a little bit on the safe side on my race setup, and that was just brilliant. So it was fast enough, but also stable. So I'm happy, and I'm happy.
Fantastic. And obviously, we saw you obviously had some concerns regarding like blue flags. How did you end up finding that? Because we didn't really have much time to see how you were dealing with the traffic on stream. Was that sort of an issue that you ended up affecting you, or were you able to navigate around that?
No, that was great. People were aware of the blue flags.
Fantastic. And last but not least, obviously you've been quite vocal about the racing standards and everything in this league, but obviously out of good intention. Do you think generally the league and people here are they on a path towards getting a bit cleaner? Do you think there's promise, or do you think there's still work to be done, or both?
I think there's potential, but there's still a long way to go. Not only in the driving standards. I haven't seen everything today, of course, but I'll look it back. But also in terms of organization, with all due respect, I know how difficult it is. But I have to say, Mano, I love you, but I think in rules it says top 8 or top 10. So I do understand the people that were questioning this. but it's all part of the development. So no problem. But I think that call was the good one. But it's So it's mainly in those areas to be consistent and apply the rules.
Of
But
course.
want to be too critical, but that's it. That's where the room for improvement is.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the feedback. And I think that I extend that to everyone. Please be vocal, because if you're not, then changes aren't made. So yeah, thank you very much, Yap. We'll see you for round 3 next week. I think it's next week.
Yeah, thank you. Also, just want to say thank you very much for organizing it. And I know how difficult it is. A lot of stuff to do with, a lot of people with opinions. So but keep it going. Good stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, buddy. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Fantastic. Okay, Luckers, you can call the shots now if you're still here. Who do you want to bring up?
I would like to speak to either Evan Pardy or Simon Wagenbort.
Okay,
So,
tell you what,
flip a coin.
we'll bring up Evan since his hand was up, and then we'll bring Simon up next. So Evan can come to the stage. Luckers,
hello.
You saw the race, Luckers. You can ask him the questions. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Evan, I want to start with race 2. Yeah, talk us through that, because obviously you started on pole, which is not where you wanted to be.
Yeah, I actually didn't want to be in pole, to be honest, because of how turn one
Evan's
normally
wanted to be on pole, but
yeah,
you had a bit of a incident, let's say.
indeed.
So tell us a bit about that.
Well, which incident is it? I had 2. I spun, and then I also gave Peter a little bit of a tap, but we survived that. If you're talking about the spin, yeah, I mean, that fast right-hander, I think everybody but Jap at least spun on that once this race, and it was a painful turn to get right. It's just you're downshifting into it, and you can't get the revs up, and you spin. It's bad for everybody. I recovered. I was very happy. I don't think I would have been able to beat Jap's pace. He closed up the gap to Peter quite quickly, I was seeing on the leaderboard. So yeah, I think if I didn't wreck, it still would have been a P2 for me either way. Just unfortunate for Jorge, really. He got I think 7th race 1 and DNF race 2, but you know, it's we're gonna recover. We have a huge margin to the team behind us for a reason, and I guess we're just testing out the limits of that margin right now. But it's all good. We still should be quite comfortably in the lead of the constructors. Not so sure about the drivers, but pretty good nonetheless.
Good stuff. And I didn't just see much of you in race 1. Tell us a bit about that. How that went.
Yeah, so race 1, I went deep into turn 1, starting P4, and I kept it on the track. But then I see in my rear view mirror, Dan Thine just sideways clatters into the back of me, puts me like all the ways at the back of the field. So really screwed up an excellent qualifying position. I honestly thought I was going to be starting 9th. My pace didn't feel that great, but somehow I put out a good quali lap. But yeah, then it was just all about putting your head down, recovering. I was behind Frederick, which is something, but I managed to get by him because Fred and somebody else just had a huge collision in front of me. That was 2 places, just kept on getting up the order. Eventually got 5th, so I was very lucky. I mean, the front runners were just all grouped together, so it was kind of painful being in essentially your own race for the entirety of it. But yeah, I'm thankful that I was able to recover up to P5. Not too bad of a result for what it was.
Good. And final questions. We got to end this quickly. Any thoughts about? Obviously, you spoke a bit about it a second ago, but Jorge Caro's race, your teammate.
Yeah, I mean, we all have bad races. This is one of his. He's a great driver, and he did good this time out. It's just he got into some incidents like turn 1. I think he got pushed off. We'll have a look at that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen any replay, so I won't talk preemptively on anything. And then there was also he just got hit in race 2 as well. So I mean, it was just really unfortunate. He had the pace. He was starting 2nd in qualifying. He's an amazing driver. Like I think he'll easily be able to recover from this going into Zandvoort. I mean, he told me going into this that I mean, we said this in Australia too, but this time we knew a little bit more about the league and the car, and he said this was definitely a race where he just didn't want to lose that many points. Ended up losing some points, but it's all good nonetheless. Still a great driver, still a Blue Ridge driver, and we're still going to get that P1 by the end of this season. That's all that matters.
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now I sent the order somewhere. Let's get. I think we're gonna get Simon up next, so we'll drag Simon up just now. If he'd like to take to the stage.
Hello,
Hello, Simon. How are you?
I'm very good.
Good. All right. So we'll talk about your race. Obviously, fantastic race one. Managing the chaos going on behind, finishing up in P2, and then race two maybe didn't go so to plan. We saw the contact with Jorge, and then it just seemed like your car was just suddenly just not wanting to behave. It almost seemed like you were having to fight it going into every turn, and as a result, you ended well out of the points. So just talk us through it. Talk to us a little bit about how race one went. Talk to us a little bit how race two went.
So race one start went very well. Got to P2 after turn one, and then just fully defense really, and got on the 1-2 for Wagon Force. So I'm really happy with that. And then race two, started P4. And then the crash with Jorge that destroyed my front wing a bit, but just enough to give me an unbalanced car. So in the fast right-hander, I had no grip and just flew out the corner almost every time. With the graining on the tires, I really had no grip, especially during the end of the race. So that was unlucky, but still very happy with race one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one question I want to ask you specifically. Obviously, comes to attention that open seat at Sony GP, is that currently under talks for you, or are you happy with where you are at Vegasport right now?
No comments about that.
Okay, we'll monitor the situation in that case. Thank you very much, Simon. You have a good day. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, and I think now where we'll bring up Cash and then we'll bring up Elliot. So, Cash, talk to us, mate. How are you doing? Still maybe not where exactly you want to be, but on the plus side, as things stand, first points for yourself and the team. So talk to us through it. Talk to us about it.
Dude, I feel great. I mean, to bounce back from the horrible race that was Melbourne, I mean, dude, it's awesome. I mean, I had great battles with Jay. That was obviously some good fun. And I'm just glad I didn't get wrecked.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, points are after race two. Do you think that you and the team are going in the right direction and slowly building towards being able to fight for something? I honestly, again, it did appear that you were the sole car again. But in regards of positive movement, do you think that there's you're on a good trajectory heading into the season?
I mean, I wouldn't want to jump to conclusions or anything, but I mean, up and down performances, I genuinely don't know. So, I mean, an Angel not being able to show up to most of them because he just got a new work schedule and some of his shifts conflict with races. So, I don't know what we're going to do, but we are definitely going to attempt to fight for a good spot in the championship.
That's good. Well, I hope to see some more of that fight next week. Until then, Cash, we'll catch you later. Thank you very much.
All right. See you, man.
See ya. And then last but not least, we will bring up Mr. Elliot Vega.
Hello.
How are you?
Don't ask me that.
I think that's the best way to bring it. Also, we'll talk to Ryan afterwards. But yeah, so for Elliot, obviously, I don't think it went ideal for you at all. I'm not sure if you picked up a few points towards the end. It looked like you might have landed yourself a P9, but
Yeah.
considering the fact that your team is currently in second in the constructors, I don't think P9 is where you wanted to finish. So talk to us about it.
So, yeah, race 1, very happy with Simon, very proud of him. I got P9 race 1 and P10 race 2. The thing that like very much harmed us was with the setup. You know, this is still a rookie team, and both drivers are rookies. So we didn't have the foresight there. Now looking back at it, that and it wasn't a tire pressure problem. It was more of a camber and toe problem. The tire deg was pretty horrible. But if you kept the car from spinning, you know, it would have stayed all right. As we saw, like mostly with my tires, they felt nice in race 2. But of course, with this track being the track it is, yeah, that was not gonna happen. So yeah, reforms coming soon, I guess, for Vegas Sport. Hopefully, we can defend P2. Definitely looking forward to the Dutch GP, and who knows, there might be a special livery.
Fantastic. And I think that was what I was going to go on to. There is obviously more and more increasing talk that Simon is in negotiation with other teams. What do you have to say to that as the team principal of Vegas Sport? Because I'm assuming it'll be in your best interests to keep him.
Obviously, and you know, I could just sit here and say no comment, but Simon is a fast driver. You know, not only that, but I really value his experience, his feedback, all that good stuff, and we make a really good team. I would obviously prefer him not to move, but if the situation did happen, I don't think we'd be able to defend P2. I don't know how that's going to go. But I don't know. I just think, you know, with it being a new team, we're not really in the best position to rebound from a driver swap, but that's all I'll go into on that.
Of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll find a solution, and that being the best one. So yeah. But we'll see where we are for next week's Elliot. Until then though, stay frosty, and we'll see you for next week.
All right, toodaloo.
Toodaloo, thank you, buddy. And last but not least, we'll speak to the very unlucky Ryan Hawk. Ryan, how are you, buddy?
Not great, man. Not a great one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off from what I saw. Luckers can chip in if he saw anything as well. But I mean, just from generally what I could see, it just seems like you've done something in your past life and you're being punished for it now. It seems we saw that massive accident in turn 1, and we saw just a flash of your rear flying off into the gravel trap. And then I think race 1 in general just looked like you couldn't really get on top of the car, a ton of issues. And race 2, race 2 looked a lot better, but I still think compared to where Petar was, there was a lot of promise today that unfortunately you weren't able to capitalize on. So just talk to us about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty tough weekend for me overall. You know, qualifying was actually the most frustrating because, you know, I ended up P5 or P6, I cannot remember, but honestly, I think I had the pace for P3. But anyway, I made a couple of mistakes, and, you know, in the end of my final run, I got blocked, so I couldn't really put the lap together, but it was okay, P5, P6, but race 1 was basically over in turn 1 for me, you know. I mean, I got taken out and, you know, picked up front wing and rear wing damage, and the car was understeering everywhere, which, you know, made it really hard to change. And I just, you know, never found rhythm. Race 2 was slightly better, but I came through from P12 to P6, but losing P5 basically in the last lap. So this summed up the weekend a bit, but on the positive side, the team did a great job, and my teammate had an amazing weekend with, you know, 2 podium finishes, you know, which kind of shows the potential we have, you know. For me, it's about, you know, learning from this, keeping my head down, and coming back stronger. And I'm just looking forward to Zandvoort next week, basically. So yeah, coupled with the mistakes and some unfortunate incidents, that summed up to be a very unfortunate weekend. So that's basically it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think once again you kind of got the shorter end of the stick, but if there's anything we can sort of capitalize on, is that everyone seems to be having issues. I mean, I think from my perspective, Tiger Sport is not where it wants to be. In fact, we've gone even further down. Um, Obviously Sony GP seems to be on full cylinders, but they've only got one driver as of right now. And Blue Ridge on a weekend where they were expected to recoup even more points, dropped quite a handful and are really testing that sort of. I don't think they really have that cushion of support anymore on the drivers' championship. So, having seen all this, do you think there's still a lot of scope to sort of, sort of, what's the word? Iron out the issues and fight for the trophies.
I feel like, this, it's actually because of the car, to be honest. This car feels different on every single track. One track you're understeering, another track you're oversteering. So it's really hard to manage, but in this short of a time. And I guess, the competition is still open like this. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ryan, and we will hopefully see you having some more success for next week, buddy. Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Luckers, I guess that will round off the final set of interviews. Give me your final thoughts on the weekend as a whole before we say goodbye to the loyal fans who've been sat here watching.
It was fake.
What?
It was good.
Oh, he's keeping it concise. We like that.
Very good. Very good.
Fantastic. Well, as things stand, we're not entirely sure where the points are. All we do know is that it's very, very close at the top. So, keep an eye on those points, and we'll bring them to you very soon. The verdicts will probably be out in a couple of days' time. We'll try to be a bit quicker with them. And yeah, if you are someone who is watching the stream and you have absolutely no idea what this is, but you'd like to get involved, the Discord is in the link in the description, so make sure to join us up if you'd like to get involved in the fun and the action. But other than that, thank you very much, and we will see you